Hi, my name is Mary. Today FM plays the best music in Lambasa. Today FM rocks.
My name is Thomas. I'm here in Nakasi and I like to listen to Today FM because it rocks.
My name is Milenia. Today FM rocks here in Singatoka.
My name is Alfriti and Today FM rocks here in Tavua.
My name is Mary Jane. I love listening to Today FM here in Ba. Today FM rocks.
My name is Ilaiti Ambal and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks here in Osur.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, FNPF maintains stand on real estate companies' back pay. More under radar for alleged abuse of homes care. And dentist remanded for allegedly raping sister-in-law.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
Real estate companies will have to back pay their agents mandatory 10% FNPF deductions from 2012. The Fiji National Provident Fund made its stance clear to the companies following their request to only back pay the deductions for this year. Now the Real Estate Association claims most of the companies will shut down as a result of this. Catherine Krishna reports.
President of the Real Estate Association, Vyasdev Sharma, says they have made a submission to the Fiji National Provident Fund to waive the back pay deduction of 10% and await a response.
They should be considered on their side, because we feel that their demand is a bit harsh. It's going to punish our members, and then it's going to cost a lot of money to our members. Even in some cases, we feel that some of the businesses, real estate offices will be closed.
Meanwhile, FNPF's Chief Executive Chochi Koroi says the law requires deductions to be paid and it has to be done backdated to 2012.
The law actually requires payment of contributions on commissions earned from sale of real estate assets. So that's required under the law. Some real estate firms have already started making arrangements and making payments.
Legislation regarding mandatory FNPF deductions for real estate sales agents has been in effect since 2012. Catherine Krishna, FBC News.
8 more traders are currently being investigated for allegedly abusing the government's Homes Care initiative. Fijian Competition and Consumer Commission Chief Executive Joel Abraham says 6 traders have already been charged and more expected to be laid soon. Anna Ravulo reports.
8 traders are being investigated for unscrupulous acts and the number continues to rise.
The issues that we are looking at includes price hike, failure to mark prices, accepting payment without being able to supply, price advantage where the shelf and the counter price are different. So somebody picks up something from the shelf, picking at X amount of price and goes to the counter and the system picks something else.
From the time this initiative was rolled out, in total we have received 58 complaints, but out of that we received 19 complaints last month, which is June. So 19 complaints were lodged in the month of June and 39 complaints in the month of May.
The Commission, together with the Consumer Watchdog, says it's not only about charging traders, but there must be emphasis on the enforcement of the law.
Enforcement is very important, and we have to send a strong message to the traders that if they're going to use this initiative to make more money, then it's not acceptable.
The 6 traders from the first and second round of investigations are expected to appear in court soon before the third round begins. Anna Ravulo, FBC News.
The Fijian Elections Office has been allocated $20.4 million for the new financial year as an operating grant. Despite a decrease of $1.7 million from their previous budget, the Supervisor of Elections, Mohammed Sanim, says the allocation is what they requested and is sufficient for what they need to run this year's general election. Maggie Boyle reports.
The general election is expected to be held before October this year.
$20 million is allocated to the Fijian Elections Office for the conduct of those elections.
The focus now for the Elections Office is to ensure their I's are dotted and their T's crossed.
Working on electoral processes, we're working on staffing for the elections. We're conducting trainings for officials regularly to ensure they're engaged. and we are continuously doing mocks for various processes so that we are able to review it, analyze it, and make sure that they are all fully functional on the day we have to go.
The supervisor of elections says they're ready to head to the polls should it be called tomorrow.
We have sufficient staff now, contracted and on standby. We have all the materials in stock, and we are on standby mode for the election.
The decreased budget reflects the progress made by the Fijian Elections Office. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
A former provisional candidate for the National Federation Party and dentist facing rape charges has been remanded in custody. The 66-year-old man appeared in the Nasinu Magistrates Court today.
The elderly man who could barely walk allegedly raped his 53-year-old sister-in-law in her Nasinu home last week. It's alleged he asked to rest at her home after attending a wedding in Suva, and when she was inside her bedroom, he knocked on the door and forced himself on her. The defense made a bail application on the grounds that the man has 4 broken ribs and needs medical attention. She claimed that her client was beaten up while in custody. The prosecution objected to the bail on the grounds that the offence is serious and said there is a possibility of interference with the witness. The bail application was refused and an interim restraining order was issued against the accused. He was also ordered to be taken to the Colonial War Memorial Hospital for medical examination. The matter has been transferred to the Suva High Court and will be called next Friday. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
The Social Democratic Liberal Party 2018 manifesto has been partially revealed, with the main theme as sustainable management of Fiji's economy. Speaking at their annual general meeting, Party General Secretary Andiliti Ngionimbarravi says the manifesto will also include the management of Fiji's debt level, inclusive growth and general partnership. Andiliti says all party members and officials took part in producing the manifesto that will take them into the general election. She adds their manifesto is ready and will be launched soon.
The party facilitated a meeting of all MPs with the party leader and officials to hear the views of our parliamentarian on the draft manifesto. These views have been included in the manifesto. I am happy, Mr. President, sir, to report that the manifesto has been completed.
Still to come, Langere market nears completion. A new men's group to protect women. Stay with us.
Bula, nevang gomal kay leloma, gongay nakas onto makarong ng Bula FM, nambang 2 ay nasere.
Hoya ubasit sai sa Lambasa, ya ondo talita na warong ng Bula FM, nambang 2 ay nasere.
Guya do tumeli ako na tao no hinga toka, talita kina na warong ng Bula FM, nambang 2 ay nasere.
Wala na tunga ng Bula FM, nambang 2 ay nasere namalun.
Nevang go fane na tao no go singa toka, kita ondo talita ka ng Bula FM, nambang 2 ay nasere.
Bula FM, nambang 2 ay nasere.
Around 300 vendors interested in renting spaces at the new Langere market in Nasinu have filed applications with the local government ministry. Minister Parvin Bala says the market development is expected to be completed soon. Savaira Tambor reports.
This new market is expected to be open by end of next month, and local government minister Parvin Bala says the new market will accommodate more than 400 vendors.
Initially we had around 400. But now there is also demand for more vendors to be accommodated. We will do that. We will accommodate all that because we have room for expansion program. So there is no real problem as far as we are concerned in terms of the new Langere market.
Market vendors and fish sellers can't wait to move into the new facility.
We've got all the facilities there, especially the lube there and the water there, and everything is.
I'm looking forward to go to the new market.
I can't wait to see my new place in the new market.
$4.3 million was set aside by government for this project. Sabaira Tambua, FBC News.
The $3.5 million subsidy for kidney dialysis in the budget will be a relief for Fijians in need of treatment. Consumer Council's Chief Executive Pramila Kumar says this will greatly ease the cost of dialysis on patients and their families. Kelly Vadala reports.
The government in its new budget will ensure Fijians have access to better health services, including the expansion of the kidney dialysis treatment.
For years, there have been suffering, and they've been forking out large sum of money. And sometimes when they don't have enough money, then they have to miss a session and just do 2 sessions per week. I mean, for them to get $250 every session, and in total of $750 every week, is a lot of money.
The Consumer Council says they've discovered a kidney patient in Viti level who needs a minimum of $39,000 a year to survive, whereas another patient in Vonua level will need $23,400. Economy Minister Ayasaid Kayum says the dialysis treatment has been made more affordable.
We've allocated $2 million to make 4 dialysis machines available at a facility in Suva and 3 more available in Nandi, which will provide dialysis treatment at $150 per session to the public. That's going to drive down prices generally for treatment, and that's going to save lives. And for Fijians with annual household incomes below $30,000, government will also subsidize half the cost of the treatment with an allocation of $3.5 billion.
The announcement will bring relief to many that are in need of dialysis treatment. Kelly Badala, FBC News.
A group of young men have formed the first ever consent club to advocate protection of women and girls from all forms of gender-based violence. The 11-member group will undergo training before visiting communities to share powerful messages about violence against women and girls. Felipe Naikaso has more.
I will continue to make my community stronger
by helping to end violence against women.
These men are pledging to ensure their work in communities will contribute to the effort of eradicating gender-based violence.
Probably I'd say it's not by choice, but it's something that I have to do as a man, to be there and be the voice against violence against women, to support them, because at the end of the day we all are human beings and we all have equal rights.
The Fiji Women's Crisis Center statistics reveal 68% of women who are in a relationship will go through physical violence, and the formation of the club has come at the right time.
Men must take up the cause too. Men must use their voices to champion the rights of women and put an end to any culture and perpetual act of violence against them.
So the Consent Club will promote the phrase "no means no," and they'll discuss consent regularly throughout their trainings and their awareness campaigns.
The Consent Club hopes to include more men to step up and help in this fight. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
More than 400 participants from neighboring island countries are sharing ideas and experiences on how to include Pacific cultures in their school curriculums. This is part of a 2-day Vaka Pacifici education conference held in Suva. Kritika Kumar reports.
The conference is part of a Vaka Pacifici journey to look at ways that will enhance cultural learning in the Pacific.
The aim is to continue to transform Pacific education to meet the needs of Pacific children, and in terms of their own values, their own knowledge systems, their beliefs, their cultures, and in terms of their relationships.
This provides an opportunity for individuals to share educational policies, teachings, and learning experiences.
Our countries will become more sustainable, because you cannot really become sustainable unless you know your own identity and where you're going.
Meanwhile, the Vaka Pacifici is inclusion of many diverse cultures who want the younger generation to learn about their culture and identity. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
Residents of Savo now have access to free legal counsel with the opening of a new Legal Aid Commission office. The people of Savo will now no longer need to travel to Lambasa to seek the services of the Legal Aid Commission. Opening the new office yesterday, Prime Minister Vorengem Bainimarama says a team of professionals will be available to provide free counsel on a range of legal matters, including legal services in the areas of family, criminal and civil law. They can also provide advice free of charge to anyone, assist in witnessing documents dealing with landlord and tenant-related issues, drafting wills and helping with probate matters. In sports, later with Jamie, Suva Women's Rugby hopes to continue its unbeaten run in Skipper Cup, but up next is Akosita with business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up after the break, May inflation rate rises, and in growing Fiji, Savo to benefit from redeveloped Nganilau Park. Stay with us.
Voila, I am Eleanor. For the best classic hits, I only listen to Gold FM here in Singapore. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Seni Rawa. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Dino. I'm from Outrigger, Koroko, Singatoka. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Salote. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bula, my name is Marida. Gold FM plays the best classics here in Outrigger, Singatoka.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Leading business tonight, the Reserve Bank in its latest economic review states that inflation rose to 5.1% in May. The inflation rate stood at 4% in April and was 2.5% in May last year. The RBF says this is due to higher prices of cover, alcohol, vegetables and fuel items. However, it says prices for vegetables fell, showing signs of normalization in market item prices during the month. The RBF says both domestic and external factors continue to drive inflation in the first 5 months of this year, and the year-end inflation forecast of around 3% is upward biased. And we now join Sharon from HFC Bank with the latest from the financial market.
Markets were fairly quiet today following an uneventful European session amid low-key economic data. However, the euro erased some of its losses on the chance of an early rate increase by the European Central Bank. The mood in Asia is more downbeat and shares slipped even as the yuan extended its rebound. Now all eyes will be watching the US-China trade tension. China is expected to begin imposing tariffs on $34 billion worth of US goods tomorrow, and it'll be interesting to see what effect this has on the market, if any. And that's all the latest. Vinaka.
And taking a look at the currency exchange rate set this morning for the Fijian dollar, our dollar was on the rise against the US dollar, the Aussie dollar, the PNG kina and the yen. On the commodities market, oil prices dropped slightly to just below $74 a barrel. Gold was down at $1,255 per ounce, and silver closed down over $1 at $15.05 an ounce. In growing Fiji tonight, the Nganilau Park has been redeveloped with an objective of providing sports and events for the people of Savu-Savu. Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama says a historic park was damaged during Cyclone Winston in 2016. The government provided a grant of $300,000 for the redevelopment following the request from the town council. Bainimarama says Savu-Savu town has developed and is expected to grow economically with the arrival of super yachts. He says the park will bring more opportunities.
Ladies and gentlemen, sport is an integral part of every town's development. The promotion of sports requires innovative infrastructure development, and government has every intention and commitment to advance sports infrastructure development in all towns and cities.
And students of Vaturova Korolau High School now have access to better learning facilities. Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama last night opened a new classroom block and donated 50 desks and chairs along with 20 new desktop computers. Bainimarama says he's confident this investment will have a positive impact on the students' academic performances. He adds that with the new computers, students can now access the same information available to students in urban centers.
I urge the school management to develop a proper maintenance program so that the investment has a sustainable and lasting effect on the Vanua of Vaturova.
And that's business for tonight. Jamie joins you now with sports.
Thanks, Akasita, and good evening. In sports tonight, recruits expected to add more firepower to Fiji Sevens.
Hi, I'm Jyotishma. I'm from Singatoka. I love listening to Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM is #1.
I'm Charlene Robert. Mirchi FM rocks in Lambasa.
I'm Sonami Nasori Jackson. Mirchi FM is hot.
My name is Raymond Dutt. I'm in Baba Singh Alliance. Mirchi FM is hot in Lambasa.
I'm Kritika from Jax Nasori. I love listening to Mirchi FM here in Nasori. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Fiji Airways men's sevens coach Gareth Baber says Joshua Tuisova, Leone Nakarawa, Semi Randrandra and Semi Kunatani all add a lot of experience from playing top-level rugby in France. However, Baber says with the inclusion of these world-class players, they won't overhaul their game structure for the Rugby World Cup Sevens, but will add more to it.
You know, we won 5 tournaments this season, playing some good rugby, the way that we want to play as Fijians, and really take that to the opposition, being positive moving forward, being aggressive in defence as well, and we've won games. But obviously we didn't do it as consistently as we wanted to. Over 4 games, bringing in possibly a couple of these players as well who have knowledge of how to win top tournaments.
The Suva women's rugby team has had an impressive run in the inaugural Women's Skipper Cup competition this year. However, the only undefeated side in the tournament so far is wary of the challenge Nandi will bring in their semi-final clash on Saturday. John Tambore with more.
Suva's undefeated streak will be put to the test this weekend as they face a star-studded Nandi side in the first semi-final match.
Nandi is a brilliant team. They're a formidable side, led by a Fijiana skipper, Leilani Bells, up in front. We're not taking them lightly, we're not underestimating them.
Suva had beaten Nandi earlier in the round robin. However, this time it will be a different ball game. Captain Tali Davondo says the team needs to stick to their game plan if they want to clinch the first ever skipper women's title.
Together in groups, like she has given us our game plan, and we have to follow what she tells us to do in order to go up to the main finals.
Coach Eleanor Kunatumba says their form this season has been accredited to the team's hard work and unity.
I think it's just the hard work that the girls put in, and that solidarity that we have in the team, and the respect that we have for each other, that we need to go out there and play our hearts out.
Stakes will be high for both teams this Saturday as the winner will go on one step closer to winning the first ever Women's Skipper Cup competition. Meanwhile, the second semi-final will feature Namosi taking on Malolo at Lawanga Park in Singatoka. John Tabore, FBC Sports.
With the FIFA World Cup quarterfinals set to begin this Saturday, it's not just fans in Russia and abroad that are hyping things up. Local fans are also rallying for their teams. Meli Tavanga caught up with a few of them around Suva and filed this report.
It will be an early wake-up call for the France and Uruguay fans in the country as the two heavyweights.
So Kylian Mbappe is one of the most younger and best player at the moment, so I'm really looking forward to see him playing and score as many as he can.
My team is France, so I think France will win World Cup this year.
Record shows that 1958, 1962, 1970, 1994, 2002, Brazil is the only team that have played in won 5 World Cup. They've played from 1930 till this year I'm talking to. They have no other team, all team have won. I bet for Brazil.
British Embassy in Fiji has also shown their support behind England.
Everyone will be really excited. Everyone will be willing the day to go by quickly so they can get home, get to be with family, with friends, or to watch it in a pub. I think the atmosphere will be great, and everyone will be cheering England on for victory.
From 32 teams, it came down to 16 and now to 8. And the final 4 will be decided this weekend before the winner is announced on the 16th of this month. Meli Tavanga, FBC Sports.
England fans have declared the World Cup knockout curse over after the Three Lions' dramatic 4-3 win over Colombia yesterday. Many also believe that England can now lift the World Cup after 52 years. This report from TVNZ. While France are third favourites for the tournament now, behind Brazil and England, their South American opposition, Uruguay, is anticipated to provide a tough test. While pulling out of the Oceania Championships has resulted in weightlifting Fiji losing their places at this year's Youth Olympics by default, preparations are well underway for Fijian athletes who have qualified to compete at the event that's less than 3 months away. Stella Taoe with this report.
3 sports will represent Fiji in the upcoming Youth Olympics. They are athletics, badminton and table tennis. Team Fiji's chef de mission Tomasi Tiko says there is a chance other sports will qualify.
However, we still have swimming that is going through the qualification process as well in New Zealand, and we hope to get word back after that if any of the athletes will have qualified.
Tiko also highlighted some of the challenges athletes face while preparing for such competitions.
Some of them this will be their first international exposure, not knowing what the competition would be like, who they would be facing in Argentina, and so that will probably be one of the challenges.
Meanwhile, FASANOC President Joe Roden says since this is the off-season, when it comes to athletics, they are organizing internal competitions for selected athletes to improve their timings.
We're going through the system and going through the process of trying to select the best athlete that we believe will do us well in the youth game, not only for the youth game, but for the coming games in the future, like the Pacific Games next year.
Team Fiji leaves on the first week of October and will be amongst the 100 countries participating in the 31 sports. Stella Taoi, FBC Sports.
That's it from Sports Tonight. Angie joins you later on with weather. And if you're the type of person that needs access to all your smart devices at one workstation, check out the ultimate smart desk in our new media segment. That's right after the break.
Narang gole semia, Obama kita kena kas, dorong bina kape, ona radio Fijuan, nando mo ibit.
Ayaw benyana, kita barong na radio Fijuan, nando mo ibisi, ihi natoka.
Guado ila isa ingatoka, rong bina na hera makawa ina radio Fijuan ingatoka.
Radio Fijuan, nando mo ibiti.
In tonight's new media, something that everyone would love to own, the ultimate smart desk. It's called the Semtrex Smart Desk, and it's a single unit workstation with a lot of potential. Weather time now, and our weather lady Angie phoned in earlier to say she's feeling under the weather. So we join Kelly now with all the very latest.
Taking a look at the weather nationwide today, it's been generally a cool, cloudy day with some scattered showers and more on the way. Taking a look at the west, it was generally cloudy in the morning with some rain reported in the afternoon. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, about the same, cloudy, cool, some rain off and on. And up north, pretty much the same again, cloudy with showers, while Lambasa proved to be the warmest spot in the nation at 30 degrees. At sea, a strong wind warning is in effect for all Fiji waters. Southeast winds 20 to 25 knots with rough seas. For the tides, high tide at 11:54 tonight and low tide at 5:55 a.m. Sunrise is at 6:39. For tomorrow, the cool temperatures in the mid to high 20s will continue with cloudy skies and rain across the country. And looking further on to Saturday, the cool, cloudy trend is expected to continue. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Kelly. In Fijian Pulse tonight, we asked what should be done to landlords who advertise flat to rent with specific conditions.
I think they should be reminded that we all called Fijians and we are one. They should stop advertising it to only one race or same religion.
It's their choice. Because they own the property, it's up to them who's the one that's going to rent out their properties.
But of course, yeah, if some necessary not penalties, but of course we need to get some awareness down there, no? Penalties won't resolve, but it's more of awareness that has to go to the property owners.
These kind of landlords, they should be investigated and they should be taken to task.
Landlords should have the knowledge of rental laws before setting out the conditions.
Recapping the main stories for tonight, FMPF maintains stand on real estate companies' back pay, more under radar for alleged abuse of homes care, and dentist remanded for allegedly raping sister-in-law. Now for these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question segment this week, we're asking, are you happy with the new initiatives announced in the national budget? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day sent in by Chonem Balen Rokan Roka, just another day in paradise on Rambi Island. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was the FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Night.
मैं नवनीत नंद नंबुआ से। जैसे प्रेनी नोट मशहूर है वैसे रेडियो फीजी 2 भी सभी जगह मशहूर है। रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
सीमा नकाशी से मैं रेडियो फीजी 2 पसंद करती हूँ सुनने के लिए। रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
मैं हूँ अंकल किंग सिंगाटोका टाउन के टैक्सी ड्राइवर। जैसे रग्बी फेमस है वैसे रेडियो फीजी 2 फेमस है।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।